In this lesson we will make the one ring to rule them all. Nope, just a ring which will open and close the helmet. We will set up a controller which will trigger this mechanism when we rotate it. I provide timestamps in all my tutorials so that you can skip the parts which you already know. Use them if you want since this is a long tutorial. Okay, let's begin. I have a couple of iron helmets here. This one is from the original version which was longer. You can see we have 385 frames in the timeline. This one was animated normally. There are a lot of small parts in this model, so it needed a bunch of keyframes just for the closing animation. You can animate like this. For this project it's perfectly fine since we have to animate just once. But let's say you are working on a movie and there are many scenes which need same complex animation. So instead of animating everything or copying all the keyframes, you can just set up a controller which will animate everything for you. You can use this technique for anything really. There's Ironman helmet, then there's Quinjet. You can make a controller for the folding wings or perhaps for the tires. They go inside and come out again and again. I'll show you how you can attach this controller to a rig. This way you can ease animators work and also save time. Your team will be impressed. You might even get a call from NASA. Anyways, let's begin. Here we have a copy of the helmet. This doesn't have any animation. We will be working on this one. Go to shapes and create a circle. This will work as our custom controller. So align it to the helmet. Turn on angle snap and rotate this thing to 90 degrees. Alright. If I rotate this, we can't properly see it rotating. So I'll make a arrow. You can draw an arrow yourself, but I prefer shortcuts. So I'll make a text. Go to the modify panel. Then under fonts, select the last font. It's called Wingdings 3. I think it's there by default. And type in here N, small n, not capital. So you get this two-sided arrow. This font has a lot of different shapes. Check them out once so that you won't have to draw them manually. Now add a edit spline. This one is just like edit poly, but in this we can edit shapes. Select these vertices and pull them a bit. This looks better. I want the pivot in the center, so go to hierarchy tab, click on affect pivot only, then click on center to object. Now align this to the circle. Align rotation as well. Okay, now I'm gonna just adjust this a bit. Now let's bend this to match the circle's curve. So add a bend modifier. Increase angle. Change the axis. Not this one. Why? Okay, this one. The middle part is not getting bent. That's because we don't have any vertices in the middle. So select segment. Select both of these and right click and divide. Again divide until we have enough vertices. This many are enough. Okay. So now let's try. Now it's getting bent properly. Not properly. Change the direction to 90. So I'll go to left view, then press Z to focus on the selected object and adjust the angle. Okay, this looks good, but the arrows kind of look distorted over here, so I'll use the limit effect. So now the bend is only limited to this much area. So let's readjust the angle. Okay, this looks perfect. Now let's link this arrow to the circle. Now we can properly see the rotation. I want this ring to rotate in x-axis only, so we will lock y and z and also limit its rotation to a certain degrees. So just like we lock the camera, go to hierarchy tab, link info and check on Y and Z. So let's test. Wow, it's not moving in x-axis at all. Actually it is, but our gimbal is messed up. This happened because we created the ring on the ground and did rotation in y-axis. So here our gimbal looks normal, but if you go to coordinate system and select gimbal, then you can see it's messed up. The x-axis is similar to Z. Should have made this circle in left viewport, then we wouldn't have to rotate it. Anyways, let me show you why this thing happens. I am using gimbal mode. Max uses gimbal coordinate system in rigging, controllers and locks apparently. Most of the time you don't have to worry about it. The way gimbal works is X is the child, so if I rotate X, only X moves. Y is the parent, so if I rotate Y, X moves with it. And Z is the grandparent. Rotate Z and everything moves. So most of the time gimbal gets messed up when you rotate in y-axis. So to fix the gimbal, remove the locks and also unlink this. Okay, now just rotate the circle in y-axis and bring back the X to the original state. Okay, now we don't want the ring to be like this, horizontal, so add edit spline over here, select spline and then rotate it. This way your gimbal stays intact and you get the ring you want. Now link the arrow back and turn on the locks and let's check. Now it's working fine. To limit the controller, go to motion tab, then under assign controller, find X rotation, select it and click on this icon. Here select float limit. So the default limit is 57,000 degrees. So upper limit I'll set to 0 and lower limit to -120. Now let's check. Perfect, it has limit on both sides. Alright, now we need to set up an initial state and a final state for all the parts in the helmet and assign those states to the ring's rotation. Don't worry, it won't take long. For example, we will assign the mask's initial state to the ring's 0 rotation and final state to -30 rotation. Then as we rotate the ring from 0 to -30, we can see the mask animating and reaching its final state. And obviously you can add multiple states in between so that the animation goes as you want. Alright, this helmet has many objects in it and those objects have many elements in them, and we want animation on both objects as well as elements. Both have different methods to create states. Okay, so let's do elements first. I'll add a edit poly. I don't work on editable poly. It's a bit different and I don't like it. Now to set up elements, I'll use a modifier called Morpher. People mostly use Morpher to create facial expressions, but not us. We will use it for Ironman and Transformers type of things. So what Morpher does is, it morphs your object shape into another object. Here that another object will be referred as target. Okay, let me show you. Ignore these three panels just like you ignore male actors in porn. Focus on these two, channel list and channel parameters. Here we have these empty slots, they are for the targets. So let's create one. I will make a copy of this mask. Hold shift and drag in any axis to make a copy. Delete the morpher layer from this one, we don't want it on the target. Okay, back to main object. Now to add the target, select the empty slot, then click on this pick object from scene button, then click on the target. Okay, our target is added and you can see we got a green light over here. That means the target is available. By the way, I forgot to inform, Morpher has a limitation. The target needs to be same as the main object. They both need to have same vertex and polygon count. So if I delete one vertex from the target, let's go back and reload this. The green light is gone and this target becomes completely useless. So let me just undo everything. So we can't add, delete or detach anything, but we can definitely move everything. So select a few elements and let's bring them forward. Okay, now go back and reload target. Now if I change this value, you can see the mask morphing. I'll just hide the edges so you can see better. Okay, now make a copy of the target and let's do the next animation we want. So I'll select this element and move it inside. Okay, now make a copy of that target. Make sure you make copy of the latest target because we want all the changes we did on that one to be there in the next target. For this one I want the eyes to turn off, so I'll scale it down completely and move it up so it's hidden. This way you can turn them off. I won't just move it up because they have light material on, and if I move it up then the light will still affect the nearby areas and it might be visible from the front side. I'm gonna fast forward a few targets now. They have the same steps. Now let's bring this up, rotation a bit. These are all rotating in the current position. I want them to rotate as a group or as a single object, so control click on vertex. These are hidden, and hide all the vertex first. Again select element and control click vertex. Now rotate. Now they rotate as a object or a group. We can do much rotation in Morpher because of the way it works. Let me explain. I'll make a box, add edit poly on this. Now make a target. I'll press 5 and rotate the element like this. Okay. Now add Morpher. By the way, if you don't like this list, then just press X in the viewport and type the modifier or anything you want. Now add the target in, and if I move this, how will it rotate? Let's see. Will it rotate like this? Let's check. Nope, not at all. This happens because in Morpher the vertices will find the fastest way to become like the target. So they won't maintain the curve, they will just go in a straight line and become the target. In the end your object will look just like the target, but the middle animation will be all distorted. Alright, our targets are ready. So let's add all of them in the Morpher. I'll add them in the same slot. So pick object and add all of them. You can see them over here. Now remember to reload all. Now if I change this value, you can see our object morphing into each target simultaneously. This is a percentage value, so the range always remains between 0 to 100. Okay, let's come down. Here we have target list, and below we can see the target percentage. If you check all targets, you can see they have equal gap between them, which is 16.6%. So if I drag this value from 0 to 100, all the parts will get animated in a constant speed. But I want some parts to move faster than others, so we will change these values. So select target 1. I want this one to be pretty fast, so I'll type 15%. I want same speed for target 2, so this will be 30. Target 3 is the eyes light which turn off. This should happen very quickly, so here I'll set 31, only 1% gap from target 2. Now if I drag this value, at 15 the target 1 is complete, then target 2 begins, and again after 15% at 30 target 2 is complete, then quickly at 31 target 3 is complete. Okay, let's adjust the rest of them now. For target 4 I want again 15%, so 31 plus 15 will be 46. Okay, now target 5, the lower parts come forward in this one. I'll give it 10 frames, so 46 plus 10, 56. The last one has the most animation. Let's just keep it as it is, so it gets 44%. Okay, now first reload all and then check. This looks better. Alright, let's go down again. Here we have tension. This is like the easy ease in After Effects. So 0 value will make your animation very linear and 1 will make it smooth. So let's check again. Okay, so this morph value 0 will be our initial state and 100 will be our final state. I hope you guys still remember about that. We can delete these targets, Morpher won't work without them, so let's keep them hidden. Click on this icon to open Scene Explorer. Now hit create new layer button. This will create a new active layer. I'll call this targets. Now select all the targets and click on add to active layer button. This will add all selected items in the active layer. This blue icon means this one is the active layer. Click on this eye to hide everything in that layer. Whenever we create or import a new object, it will go in the active layer. So let's change it back. Here you can see the mask goes completely to the back, but we can't do that much rotation in Morpher. So for that I'll use a helper. So go to helper tab and create a point helper. Okay, I'll turn on box so it looks better. Align it to the helmet so that it's placed in the center. I'll scale it down. While point helper is selected, I'll control click on the mask, then right click and click on hide unselected. Now link the mask to the point helper. We will use this point helper to get the rotation we want. So now the mask goes all the way to the back. Let's try it with the Morpher. Cool. So the mask is ready. I will skip the rest of the objects. They have same steps. And after that we will connect everything to the ring. Alright. This one only needs rotation, so I won't use Morpher. I'll make a dummy. Align it to the point helper. Okay. Just scale it down. Now let's select these 4 objects and hide everything else. Now I will link this object to the dummy and the point helper to the dummy as well. So now our animation will go like this. First the Morpher, then the point helper will rotate the mask, and then the dummy will rotate everything to the back. Okay. For this one I just wanted to rotate once, so we just have to place the pivot in the perfect position. This one is good to go, but I will just show you guys how to do it. So go to hierarchy tab, turn on effect pivot. Now we will place this pivot on this vertex. Press S to turn on snap. This thing is not really snapping on vertex, so So right click on the snap icon and here check vertex and turn this thing off. Now simply select move tool and drag the pivot and snap it on the vertex you want. Now turn off of it and it's done. We are going to rotate this one, so let's check its gimbal. It's messed up. We'll have to fix this. There is another way to fix gimbal. We can just reset it. So go to the utilities tab. Here we have reset XForm. Before using reset XForm, make sure you save the file because you cannot undo XForm. And also unlink everything that is linked to this object. Now click on reset selected. Okay, this is the easier way of fixing gimbal, but it won't be helpful every time. So you need to know the first way we fixed it. I'll do the same on the left piece. We don't need to fix all gimbals, just the ones which are going to rotate. The mask gimbal doesn't matter cause we are using point helper to rotate it. And we know we did not rotate helper in the y-axis. Alright, all objects are set up and ready to go. Now we will tell the ring to animate all of these. For that we will use something called the reaction manager. Go to animation and you will find it over here. Here we have a few buttons: add master, add slave, add selected and delete. Don't get offended by it, the programmer who made this was probably a fan of Game of Thrones. Here our ring will be the master and the rest of the objects will be slave. Okay, let's add. Click on this button, then select the ring. This drop down menu will appear. Go to transform, rotation, X rotation, select limited controller. Since we want the X rotation to control all the objects. Now click on add slave and I will add this mask. Here we want the ring to control the morpher. So go to modified object, morpher, then select the target. Here we can see a state has appeared and it has some values. The state has picked up the current value of X rotation of the circle, and below that we have the morpher and its current value, which is 100. So here state value will control the helmet's morph value. When rotation value is 0, I want the morph value to be 0 as well. So let's change that. Okay. Now this whole state can be called as our initial state. Now let's create the final state. So click over here to create another state. So state 2 has also picked up the current values. So change them. Okay, when rotation is minus 30, I want the morph value to become 100. Okay, so let's rotate the ring and see. It's working. So when it reaches minus 30, you can see the morpher is complete. Using these two states, we told the circle that when your rotation value is 0, then morpher should be 0 as well. And when your rotation value reaches minus 30, the morpher should reach 100. Okay, so I'll do a couple of more objects so you guys can understand better. Let's do this one. Now we don't have to add the master again. We are going to rotate this one, so I'll change the coordinate system to gimbal. Okay. Now add slave, transform, rotation, X rotation. Actually I don't want it to rotate in just one axis, and right now we can select only one at a time. So delete this and the state as well. Okay. I don't want the rotation to be like this. I want it to go somewhat like this. So for that, go to the motion tab, assign controller, and here select the rotation. Then click on this button and select linear rotation. Now here you can see the plus sign is gone, so we can't expand it and select each axis separately. So add slave again, transform, rotation. See, now the rotation doesn't expand. So select rotation, and here we have all three values together. I don't want the rotation to begin right away, so I will set the initial state to 200, sorry, minus 100. So this thing's rotation will begin from minus 100. Now add another state, and here we can see both the slaves are added, so delete the previous slave. Since we have all three axes together, we can type values over here. So turn on edit mode and rotate this manually. Select this first, then turn on edit mode. Okay. Now rotate this the way you want, and you can see the values in reaction manager updating. So this will happen at minus 105. Okay. Now I'll create another state. Again delete the previous slave. And let's edit the rotation. So this one will happen at minus 110. Here we will use more than 2 states to get the curve we want. Okay, another state. Again delete. Okay, this one will be the last at minus 120. So turn on edit mode and give it the final rotation. Here it's overlapping too much, so I'll add this again as slave, but this time I'll select position. So at minus 100 this will be the position, and then again create state, remove the previous slaves, and at minus 110, okay, it's going there. Just rotate this to bring it back. Okay, so at 1110 I wanted to come outside a bit, so again edit mode and bring this outside, so it's not overlapping with the inner object, but it's overlapping with this one. I will change that object later. Okay, so this one goes like this. From minus 100 this guy begins rotating, and at 120 it's complete. You can change any of these states anytime you want. Just select, turn on edit mode and go crazy. Okay, I'll do the mask now, then we will skip the rest of them. So here I'll add point helper as slave. Again I want all three axes together, so close this, change irregular to linear. Oh, I did rotation, I want position. Okay, now add again. So the morpher animation finishes at minus 30 degrees, so this one will start at minus 30. So this is the initial state. Now add another, delete all the old slaves. Okay, so at minus 35 the mask will come a bit upwards, so that when we rotate this it won't overlap with this object. Okay, now let's add slave again, and this time we will select rotation. So this rotation will begin at minus 35. Again add state, now let's edit the rotation. This is not how it's supposed to look. It will look proper when we rotate it using the ring. Let's see. Oh wait, we need to change this value. I'll keep it minus 50. So this will rotate from minus 35 and complete at minus 50. Okay, it's overlapping a lot, so let's make some adjustments. so this looks good. Now let's do this one. So this one will move up a bit and then completely go to the back like that. Okay, so this object is linked to the dummy. Okay, so first change this to linear position and rotation. Then add slave. Okay, so this one will begin at -50. Again delete all of this. This is so annoying. This one will end at 57. It's just little animation, so I will end it quickly. So this will move up. I forgot to add thickness in this one. Okay, that much is enough. Now add slave again, and this time select rotation. So this one will begin at -57. Create state, delete all the annoying things. Let's end this at -70. Okay, so edit mode and rotate this. Again, this is not how it's going to look when we rotate the ring. So let's check. Sweet. We have a bug over here. Whenever we move the timeline or restart the reaction manager, some of the objects just jump to somewhere else. They come back when you rotate the ring. This happens to the objects who are using position in the state. Right now the ring has rotation range of 0 to -120, and we have objects which have initial state set on -30 or -50 something. So to fix this bug, we have to make another initial state and set it on 0° rotation. So here we have X position of this object. You can see its position value is 72 and it's set on -90°. So we want this same value on 0° as well. So before creating another state, I will rotate this ring's value to -90. So type in X -90, so that when we create state, it will automatically pick up those values. Okay, now go down, delete all other slaves except the X position of that object. Delete. Now we want the same value on 0, so change the -90 to 0. Okay, so now if I test, let's move the timeline. Now the object is not jumping, and if I restart the reaction manager, this object still remains while the mask is gone. Okay, so let's fix the mask now. This dummy also has position state, so let me check its name. It's dummy 4. Okay, let's find that dummy over here. There it is. This guy's initial state is at -50. So change the ring's rotation to -50. Then create state. Again remove all extra slaves. Now change this -50 to 0. Okay, now test again. Oops. Restart reaction manager. Now mask also stays. Cool. Let's check the timeline. Okay, it's fixed. I will skip the rest of the parts since you guys already know how to do it. So this is how it looks when all objects are done. There is still some overlapping, but it won't be visible from the camera. Okay, to add this helmet on a rig or character or just to move it around, we will need a parent. So I'll make a dummy and link everything to it. Align this. Place this somewhere where you can see it properly. Okay, now let's link the ring to the dummy. Okay. Don't link the arrow to it because it's already linked to the ring. So if you again link it to the dummy, then it will lose its connection with the ring. Now let's link this dummy. Oh no. Where is it? Okay, let's load it and see. Okay, it came back. Thank God. Okay, so I'll link everything except the parts which are linked to other objects. Don't link those. Okay, let's see. Oh, these two objects are remaining. Now link those. One is lost. Let's load it and see. It's not coming back. Okay, this happens sometimes. So let's undo and break the link. Now to link this object to the dummy, we will have to make a connection to the 0 position. So create a dummy, place it on the 0 position, then link this part to this dummy and link this dummy to the parent dummy. Okay, now let's try. It stays. You can hide this dummy or keep it in the target layer. Now if I move, oh, I forgot this one. This one doesn't have position state, so it's not causing any problems. Okay, now we can move this, and to place it on a character, simply link this dummy to the head bone. Alright, this lesson is finally complete. Thanks for watching something other than porn. In the next lesson, we will do animation. See you guys in that one. Okay, bye.